our first child.
Yep.
We go and to get things moving.
Right.
They tell the wife, the mother, to get into a bathtub and go on like fours.
Yep.
And for me, to hose her down.
Really? This has not been on the video so far.
Because the relaxation of the water over the body does the same idea, like calms the but the whole time you're just watering your wife who's in the tub.
Were you laughing as you did it?
Oh no!
No?
Yes.
Okay.
Inside. Not laughing. I was. What am I doing? Why? What am I doing?
This is the Gray Hair and Daycare Podcast, with a combined age of 111 years and a combined IQ right in that same range. Your hosts, Frank Sirio and Carlo Russo.
Welcome back. Episode 15. 15. So here we are.
Yeah, we are here.
And we are here. As always, I am Frank Sirio.
He is.
I am 55 years old, and my wife is 32. 32 weeks pregnant.
It seems like yesterday she was 31.
It does. It doesn't seem like just yesterday. So the update this time, most of the time it's it's always produce. Usually it's vegetables. This time, pineapple.
Love.
Size.
I say I love a lot of things. Pineapple has to be one of my favorites.
I like pineapple.
Yeah.
I like pineapple. I got a gift from one of my employees for the holidays. One of those edible arrangement things. And
I had that as well.
And there was a chocolate covered pineapple stars.
I had the same ones. And was there strawberries as well?
Yep. They were good. There was good stuff. I like it. But I like regular pineapple too.
So the baby's a little pineapple.
Pineapple. So the update anatomically is her skull is not fused yet. So it's a series of plates that are moving around.
Of course.
They should be, and in fact, based on our last visit to the doctor, they are head down. Kind of getting ready to travel. Yeah. Lungs and central nervous system are developing.
Nice. Need those.
She could, if she was born now, breathe and stay warm with medical help. So even at this point, she's there. And eyelashes, eyebrows, and hair are now all visible.
Aww.
So there's there's a baby there that has head plates. And
floating
head plates, lungs developing, and she's got some hair and eyelashes and all that stuff.
Now, I remember, I think this was last week, we were talking about the baby at that point could see, focus.
Yep, eyes open,
and so
and can hear sounds outside.
Hear outside the womb,
yeah. It's like a little. It is like a little person. And I will say, and there, it is a little person.
It is actually,
and lots of interaction now. So, and we'll talk more about that.
A lot
more movement and stuff, which is really fun.
Yeah.
So that's where we are here in episode 15 and week 32. And we did not do this on our last episode, but we will have a slightly different version this time of I Was Wrong. So.
All right. Where were you wrong, Frankie?
This is kind of an interesting one.
All right. I'm here for you.
I was wrong. It's not really I was wrong.
I was wrong?
No.
Oh.
I think you've been attacked enough.
I have been.
I think I don't want to.
And I do have some information I want to pass to you about something. So.
It'll be interesting to see if it may be related.
Okay. Let's.
So this was interesting. And while we talked about in the last episode, I had been on vacation.
Yes.
So I was on vacation with my brother and his wife.
I do remember that.
And we have talked on several occasions about my one niece, Marie.
Sure.
Marie has contributed. She was the one who suggested the name that ended up being chosen. So she was the baby Josephine.
Yep.
Was her idea. My brother has two daughters, Marie and Bianca, both listeners.
Hello.
And Now, and Marie, if you recall, a couple episodes ago, brought up the idea that we, as part of Crash Test Daddy, would test the Frida Baby OG Snot Sucker thing.
Yeah.
Now, and we've had discussions.
We have.
We talked about whether or not we are willing to do that.
Sure.
Or which of us might experimentally try this out. But she was very, very positive about the product and said it worked well for her and felt strongly that we should test it and that we thought it would be a good idea.
Okay.
Now, of course, that suggestion came up during vacation.
Oh, good.
And I was informed reliably
I can't wait to hear this.
by my brother's wife that Marie, in fact, never used that product, but forced her husband to do it. So it was effective, but it had only been used not by Marie, but by her husband.
Okay. Let me break this down. Did they ever use it for the baby?
Yes, they used it for the baby. They weren't using it. He wasn't using it on her.
No. Did she ever use it?
No.
She always did this blow.
They used it on her baby, but it was her husband.
So she never really did the.
No.
Marie.
Now, I have to say,
Marie.
This might have been an omission, but it was a pretty big omission. Sure. And I was interested to hear this. So when Jane told me, I thought it would only be fair for me to bring this to you before we engage in any testing.
Well, that's I'm glad you did that. I'm glad
this
you
is
had
like
that information.
My integrity is very important to
because
me.
we could have, we decided to do it. Remember, I remember I said let's do it.
You were more positive about the project than I thought you would have been.
Right.
Yes.
And because always first entertainment, podcasting, information.
Yep.
For the product.
Adding value for the listener.
Right. We're here for the listener. If you don't want to get through it, we will do it ourselves. Right. We will be the guinea pigs. Right. That's what I thought for the business.
Yes.
Now, getting that information, I want to give you a little bit of my information that I received.
Okay. So okay.
So you received some information.
Yes. Okay.
From
yes.
your side of your family.
Yes. Yep.
I too was talked to from my side of the family.
Fantastic.
So I was sitting home.
Right.
And as every night my wife comes home from work.
Right.
And Trina is a listener. I mean, she knows. She's like Paula.
She's a super fan.
Right, super fan.
Okay.
She'll come home. She'll be like, telling me exactly where she's at, what she agrees with, what she disagrees with, right? And it's always a nice conversation.
Sure.
I don't remember if it happened that way, but maybe you know better than I do, and your memory. And it's always like an open conversation.
Sure.
So she comes home, and the podcast comes out, and she listens to it on the way to work, and then if she can't finish it, on the way back.
Okay.
She walks in, and she comes straight to our TV room, parlor area of the house, and she goes, "There is no peeping way you're sucking anything out of Frank's nose. That is where I draw the line."
That's
and I
fantastic.
said to her, "Thank you. Thank you for not allowing me to play house with this crazy man. Because I didn't really want to do it, but now I can say my wife won't let me do it."
That is a woman who loves you.
Yeah.
That is, I think it's admirable. She's drawn a line. I would respect that, Trina. I understand.
I've never talked about what I do for a living on this podcast. You know what I do for a living.
I do.
You know what I get away with. I do what I have to wear.
There's a lot of things that I would think she'd be more worried about.
Right. And she's never questioned anything I've done in my job or career that's on video and in the public.
Yeah.
And this one, without putting her work bag down, rushed into the room and said, "There is no way you're sucking anything out of Frank's head." Or vice versa.
Now,
and I knew she wasn't kidding.
This makes me feel it's interesting. This makes me feel good for you. That's a woman who loves you.
Right, yeah.
Now, but it does make me think, Now, the way I presented it was that we would kind of, because I wouldn't be comfortable with just be like, hey, come on, car.
Right. It's either one.
It was going to be one or the other.
She didn't want it from you either, though.
And my wife had no problem.
Yeah, you got to talk about that.
She was like, yeah, we might want to ask. So while I'm editing, I'll be asking my lovely wife about how she feels.
Right.
There's Trina standing up for her man. And
you too. She doesn't want you sucking anything out of my head.
She doesn't want me to do it either.
I mean, and the funny thing is, while she's saying this, I'm going through one of the worst colds I've had in like 2 years. Not horrible. I don't generally get sick, but to know that I'm already like stuffed up, and then she hears that,
it might actually be it might actually be helpful.
We might actually do it.
But we might want to do that.
So I guess I can't come out and play. My mommy says I can't.
I'm comfortable, and honestly, I feel like the whole project has been tainted by the omission
of your
of my niece. My niece.
Oh, your niece. I'm your niece.
So Marie, a little disappointed. Not sure.
You're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
There's gonna be an I was wrong in the future.
She's gonna be like, "What are you talking about?
The T-shirt's over."
Yeah, T-shirt is over. No. Wow. So her husband.
It was her husband who actually did it, according to Jane.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did we read into this, or did she say I used to do this for my baby?
That's why I'm saying there could have been an omission there, because she didn't say, "Oh, I used it and it was fantastic. It tasted like whipped cream." No, it was.
But she also didn't say my husband.
No, right.
She
did not say.
Right.
Yeah, she did not say that.
She did not. Yeah.
No. So
very vague.
There may be some clarification needed, but I thought that was important enough. So it was a you were wrong, or at least a little misleading.
So thank you to my lovely wife.
Yes, thank you, Trina.
Not only do I know she listens to the podcast.
It's true. There's proof there.
There's proof. There's no way that you're faking
and she's looking out for
listening. You. Yeah. So
that's
I just want to let you know that.
Okay. Well, that's where we are. So in lieu of that, I have an idea. I have not discussed this with you yet.
I remember where this went when you don't discuss stuff with me.
It's usually fun. So since there's no way we're doing that, we did talk about a bunch of options of things to do.
Okay.
For Crash Test Daddy.
Right.
So what I think we could do, if you wanted to, I thought this might be fun.
Let me call my wife.
This one will be a lot less personal.
Okay.
But it'll be another kind of a game. There will be a gameplay element to it.
All right.
So there are two products that I thought we could test. Mm-hmm. The first is the Fisher-Price baby to toddler bath 4-in-1 sling and seat tub. So this is it's like a tub with a sling. You can use it when the baby's really little.
Yeah.
Now you're not going to fit in it. I'm not going to wash your feet. But what I thought we could do is use that in conjunction with the B&H rubber ducky bath thermometer.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking is we'll have a little challenge. We will off camera. Mm-hmm. We will unpackage. We'll take out the Fisher-Price toddler bath, and maybe we'll go over like, oh look, this is the stuff that comes with it.
Okay.
Then what I'll have you do is you'll take the little bath off camera and fill it with water that you think is the right temperature for a baby bath. And then we'll come right back. Camera's on.
Put the ducky in.
And we'll put the ducky in and see how you did.
I like it.
You want to try that?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we are. We are back again with the Fisher-Price baby to toddler bath 4-in-1 sling and seat tub.
I'm so glad you did not ask me to get in it.
I don't know if I could. Yeah, you could probably wear it.
Yeah, my shoe.
Like a big helmet.
So let's see what comes with it.
What's in? Because it comes with some other little thingies. So that is the sling. Mm-hmm. So I think the sling. I have the manual here to try to see what might be done with these things.
Would this be a sling for like maybe if the baby's it's smaller maybe?
Yes. So when the baby's an infant,
okay,
the sling somehow attaches to this thing and they sit in that.
So it's like a hammock, like a.
It clips. Right? Those clips clip around the edge of the tubby.
Okay.
I think it goes the other way. Yeah. So it's that way, and then those hooks hook around the lip of the thing. So then the kid's in the water, but in the little sling securely. So there's that when they're really little.
Okay, we got
and
that.
And then once they get bigger, they have the green thing, that tub, and there's a little head pad. So they're in that way.
Okay.
And then I don't know what that is.
So this looks like maybe for over the head. So
a little sprinkler.
So when the baby has shampoo in there,
okay.
you cover the eyes and you just kind of squeeze a little.
Very nice.
Water.
Cute. And what else?
You got that. And then a little dish for fishies.
A little.
You want to eat. No, I don't know. It has holes in it.
It just like maybe a little toy. Must be.
Or,
I don't know if it details any of this.
It might do the same thing to wash out the soap.
That's it.
I don't know.
It just says, okay, it looks like that green thing comes out too.
Okay.
For when the kid's like 4.
Oh, yes, it does move. Yes.
Okay, so that comes out too.
So now it becomes bigger.
Yes. Okay. So it's basically like 3 sizes, a couple toys.
Gotcha.
It goes right in the sink and ready to go.
Looks very easy.
It does look pretty easy.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go. You will estimate the temperature, and then we will drop in the Ducky and see how well you do.
You know what?
What's that?
I should do it.
Okay.
And not know the temperature.
Right.
And then you should do it. And I won't tell you the temperature and see if we both are idiots. Because you're the one really going to have to burn the baby. If I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Right?
So you want to go first or I go first?
Doesn't matter. I think we should both go blindly.
I think you should do the water, and then we'll test it and see what your number is.
If I would fry my baby.
But you'll know the number, and then I will fill it with the water temperature that feels good to me, and then I'll test it, and then we'll compare notes. So we're back, and Carlo has filled the water by dad hand measurement, and we're gonna drop in Mr. Duck and see what
the digital.
See what the temperature is. Carlo on the honor system will make a note of his temperature, and we'll see from there. So is it climbing?
Okay. So there's a light going on and off. I don't know if it's taking the temperature.
Is it giving a number on the little readout? It's
giving a number, but it's still blinking.
Is the number? Oh, it's blinking blue.
Right. So I don't know if it goes.
I think the blue blinking is, so this is a fairly sophisticated duck. The duck has a target temperature, and if it gets below a certain temperature that's too cold for the baby, it's blue, and if it's too hot, it's red. So you may have. When I give you this number, it's okay. Or maybe it's just flashing blue because it's way too hot. I don't know, blue because your child is now dead.
All right, I know the number.
So you got the number. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be back, and it will be on me. Okay, so we're back. I have filled the little tubby with you can see my wet hands, and I'm going to drop in Mr. Duck and see what it says. Ooh, I got a blue flash. I'm climbing. I might be a little low. It's just flashing blue.
Yeah, that's what mine was doing. I guess we should have read the directions, but we can figure it out.
Why would we do that?
But you know that yeah.
My number is 85.8.
Mine was 83.4.
But that's pretty. So we were close.
We were close.
Do you know what what the temperature is supposed to be?
72.
No.
No, what?
98.4.
Oh.
So we were both in the safety range.
Okay.
But we could have been a little warmer.
Okay.
Now, and I know I have looked at the manual. So the duck is super cute, right?
Very.
So it has little sensors on the bottom, and it does have you can customize it and set a range. So it will tell you throughout the bath. If the water starts getting too cold, it'll have it'll flash. If it's too hot, so it's probably flashing blue, saying you should be warmer.
Add some cold water.
Yeah, because we're like 10 degrees under target.
Now we were being very cautious because we obviously know what cold water feels like, and we know what steaming hot water.
Yeah, but it's hard to
so we were trying to be very.
Yeah, I'm thinking 98. Like it's got to be basically body temperature.
That's what I was.
But I don't know. Like it felt that way to me.
There was a point when I had my water chosen.
Right.
And then I put that in there, and it messed with the faucet.
It did.
And it got colder.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, now I'll just put more water in it. So I wasn't. Yeah.
Okay.
We probably would have had the same 80. What was yours? 84.
85 something. 85, yeah. So it would have been close. We've been very close.
We would. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as I feel it now, it's hard to judge body temperature versus air temperature, but that's why you get the Ducky.
Yeah.
And he lets you know what you're supposed to do. I wish the Ducky quacked. but he does not.
I wish it said add more heat.
It should just talk to you
less
like,
heat.
Hey, stupid, your kid's cold. So that was the Fisher-Price baby to toddler bath 4-in-1 sling and seat tub.
That's right.
And the B&H rubber ducky bath thermometer.
Loved it.
So there we are. So that's it. We haven't done a crash test daddy in a while.
No,
it didn't involve any mucus.
I don't think Trina will mind that one.
That's good. I'm glad. I don't want Trina mad at me.
No. We're good. So
that'll be
now
it.
you know a little bit more. Now the temperature. Which you're a smart man. But unfortunately, there are parents out there that have no idea about checking the temperature of the water or the milk or the formula.
Well,
that's why you go like this and put it on your skin.
I'm sure a lot of people go by preference too. And honestly, that's a thing with me and Kelly. We've got a thermostatic control on our shower.
Sure.
So it's always the same temperature. But she likes it a lot hotter than I do.
Yeah.
And so we're always
changing it.
We're always changing it back and forth. But yeah, so I get good to have a.
Well, hopefully that helps some people out.
It's good to have a ducky.
Yes,
that's it. So there you go. So there's our crash test daddy, and we're gonna move right into what just happened.
What the hell happened?
So the latest update. We talked last time about our trip, and we had a nice time. We had some travel challenges.
Yeah.
So we're back. And it has been just horribly, frigidly cold here.
We've been in something.
The snow, honestly, the snow and the cold, way more. Last year, I think I only had to plow our driveway 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
This time, just like tons of snow and drifting snow and just brutally cold.
It's the brutal cold of it.
Yeah.
Because the snow, hasn't piled on.
No.
It's always there, but it's just gotten colder and colder and colder.
Yeah. It's been really, really brutally cold, and everywhere too. I called my brother the other day, and I'm like, "Well, it's 20 degrees. It was 20 degrees in Nashville. And it's 20 degrees in Texas.
It's snowing everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
Jacksonville, snowing.
There's snow. I saw pictures just the other day of Destin with snow on the beach. It's crazy.
Miami, they were skiing. No,
skiing
I don't think they'll ever.
Probably not.
Water
skiing.
That's right.
But so basically we did that stuff, back into the cold, settled back in, got back to work. Kelly has definitely been in nesting mode, getting things ready for the baby. It's exciting. And I think feeling a little like we got a few things we got to get done. And one of those things that we have to get done is the childbirth class videos.
Yes, we spoke about that.
We did. So a couple episodes ago, we talked about they were a little boring, not great. And I admit, through editing and watching and then doing some of our promo videos that we do on social media, I really did give a hard time to the young man who was the
you
first.
You give him no chance. I believe what you said is this
child has
no chance.
Yeah.
I saw the parents, or the father at least.
I feel a little bad, but I stand by it. But now
doubling down.
We have moved on to there's a new example couple. I was afraid it was going to be just these.
You're stuck with this?
Yes. So this very nice couple, little bit older.
Oh,
not a whole lot. They're young, but a little bit older, but more relatable. Just a more relatable couple. And they're talking, and now the focus with this one is more on preparation techniques.
Okay.
Explain. Massage.
Oh.
And use
for you? No,
for me to massage Kelly.
Oh, I thought you to get massage.
Massage techniques, breathing techniques, practicing breathing techniques and why they're supposed to work. And I'm just thinking the whole time how they aren't going to work.
Nope.
Which was gratifying because at the same time, at one point during that video, Kelly actually looked at me and said, "We'll learn all these, but none of this is going to do."
Didn't I say that to you 3 weeks ago or whatever?
Yeah.
We talked about this?
There's not going to be any of that. But there's a lot of like counter pressure techniques, which I just don't understand how this is going to help. Like where I'm bearing down on her hips and
that's how you got here.
Exactly. And I asked, I'm like, how is this going? And of course, my brilliant wife is like, well, it's just like it's you're applying pressure because it distracts It distracts your senses. Your senses can only
Put your mind in there.
So she's focusing on that and not the pressure of the contraction. So that makes sense. But at the same time, I'm thinking, I'm worried. We just did a test where we're worried about getting the temperature right.
Right.
What about the
Yeah.
I'd be worried.
I'm struggling with this because it's personal.
Okay.
But it has to be done.
Okay.
Our first child.
Yep.
We go and to get things moving.
Right.
They tell the wife, the mother, to get into a bathtub and go on like fours.
Yep.
And for me, to hose her down.
Really? This has not been on the video so far.
Because the relaxation of the water over the body does the same idea. Like calms the but the whole time you're just watering your wife who's in the tub.
Were you laughing as you did it?
Oh, no.
No?
Yes.
Okay.
Inside. Not laughing. I was, what am I doing? Why? What am I doing? But I was a good husband because I know at that point, she also is going, what is he doing? Why am I here?
Why am I doing
Why am
this?
I in this situation?
Now, the closest thing...
She's going to kill me. But...
I think
it's something that the doctors say you have to, because the warm water and
relaxes.
And it did work.
Who knows? Maybe it's in the video, and I just haven't gotten that far yet. This thing was the closest thing to that I thought was interesting. Remember, if you think back, remember the old there would be black and white videos of like gymnasiums and workout places, and there was always a machine that somebody would stand on, and there was a strap around their belly that would vibrate their belly.
How to lose weight.
So this technique was similar, no bathtub involved, but the mother on all fours, the father, the husband straddling her with like one of those yoga bands, like a stretchy piece of material, and he just underneath her belly and was doing a back and forth, like moving her belly. You know,
as much as I don't remember it, I do remember seeing something
like that.
I don't know if it's like if we did it or we saw it, but I do remember something like that. Because I think I made the joke about the old school.
That's what it made me think
weightlifting or a weight loss thing.
Yeah.
But I could be totally making this all up. And in my mind, I'm still thinking of my wife. But when they said,
no hoses yet in the video.
It was not don't think of it like an outside water hose for the pool, but it was like a shower, the movable ones. And they go, just run it down her back. And it made sense.
Sure.
But at that moment, you're both looking at each other going, don't ever talk about this unless you have a podcast 18 years later.
Right. That's it. What
23 years.
This is I'm picturing now Trina is listening to this on the way home, crashing into an embankment.
She's gonna go, oh my God. I mean, we've talked about worse things. I was gonna
That's true.
Take snots out of your nose.
That's true.
She didn't crash into a tree.
She drew the line there.
Yeah.
That's okay. So anyway, so that's where we are. The videos are improving. But anytime it comes back to the instructor, it's still the
boring.
God, she's
not
awful.
boring. That lady with the horrible blouse.
Boring. She's just boring. She's kind of
how many more of these do you
bland.
have?
I don't know. And it's better that I don't.
Trina,
know.
after listening to the podcast a couple weeks ago, she goes, "Did we go a lot? Because you forget. I mean, it's 20-some years ago."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought we went more than. I said it had to be more than 4 or 5 times.
And probably an hour each time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we've probably only.
She goes, I don't remember a thing. I go, we got to know people. We became very friendly with a couple.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't remember.
Huh?
So I said, get in that bathtub, and I started hosing her down. I go, maybe this will
bring it back.
This will remind you.
This will remind you. That's hilarious.
Oh God. Okay.
So that is where we at. We still got more to do.
Sure.
We keep saying we gotta watch more tomorrow, and then we watch. Have you ever seen this is a TV show that I love.
Okay.
And I'm gonna guess that you probably have never even heard of it.
Okay.
It's called.
Is it from England?
It is.
God, I know him so well.
It is called Toast of London. Do you know who Matt Berry is?
Matt Berry, yes. Why do I know that name?
From the IT Crowd. He was Mr. Denham, the boss. I think was his name. He's also on
Perry.
He's also on, not Matthew Perry.
No. He's passed away.
He's gone. He is, he's also on What We Do in the Shadows.
That you showed me that.
Yes.
Okay. That's
I might
why.
have.
Okay. Yes.
He plays one of the vampires.
Yes.
But this is an older series where he plays kind of a crappy actor in London.
Okay.
And it's called Toast of London.
Okay.
So we always end up watching that Toast of London. It's hilarious. Very, very funny. And instead of watching the video, so
you just bail out.
It's just like, yeah, we're gonna have to watch more of that, and I'm like,
that's hilarious.
That's not good.
I'm gonna say, is it more you switching it over than Kelly?
No, it's not. You know what it is? At the end of the day, we're both tired from work.
Zapped out.
We're both tired. We have dinner. We sit down, and then I'm sure we both think we should watch the videos. And I probably think, God, please let her not think of it.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't, and I'm happy, and I put on Toast of London. But we'll get through it. But
at least you're not leaving the home. We had to leave our house, go to the hospital, go to these meetings, walk in, have the cup of coffee, whatever.
Yeah.
We did.
You had to do the whole thing.
But we were younger.
That's right.
If I had to do this at your age,
at our age, well, and think about honestly, I know, like I complain about these videos, but imagine if I was in the room with, how many other couples were there with you?
Trina, at least, okay, 1, 2, there had to be 4 to 5 other couples, sometimes more.
So imagine me having to focus on the content of a class surrounded by 4 or 5 examples of kid from video number 1.
Yeah.
Right? The whole time I would be like, do you have a job?
Yeah.
Like let's talk about your life.
It'd be tough.
Yeah, I would not.
You'd probably interview a lot of them for your... They'd probably end up working for you.
What do you work on?
Because they'll be like, I'm unemployed right now. You know what? I can help you out.
Let me save your life. Come on.
But yeah, it was a full class. And the funny thing is, it's so funny what we remember and don't remember. When Trina goes, I just don't remember.
Not at all.
It's just one class maybe.
She blocked it out. I'm interested to see if she remembers being hosed down in the bed.
Oh, she knows.
She'll remember that.
We talk about that.
We just did it the other day.
Because we redo it every anniversary.
That's it. We watch the wedding video. We go to the bathroom.
Oh, God, she's going to...
That's fantastic. So anyway, so we're working on that. The other big news for this week is we had another scan.
Yes.
And it was another one that was interesting. Mm-hmm. So we go in, and the first thing is they get you right in. The ultrasound techs are on point, right? We get there, our appointment's at 2:30, bam, we're in, she's on there, jelly, she's doing her thing, taking all her measurements, and everything's great.
Nice.
And so that all went fine. And then at the end, she tries to do the nice 3D image. And she's trying and trying. And every time, and I love this, because my daughter has already figured out how to avoid the paparazzi.
Oh, Josie does not like the...
Josie's got her hands up. She's doing these stuff so she couldn't get a good... So there's one picture that's just like my nose and 2 hands. And I'm looking at it in the waiting room, because basically we go back to the waiting room to see the doctor after,
right. I remember
and
that,
we're waiting, and the pictures are already on the phone, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, this looks to me like maybe the Pyrenees Mountains. Like, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
I know.
And Kelly goes, no, it's her face when in her hands. I'm
there's
like,
a finger, and then you can...
Where? I'm like, show me.
She's smiling. And
she had to explain it. Like, she had to, like, that's the nose. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Are you that person with most things? Because I am. When people go, see that right there? I have to lie. I have to go, oh, yeah. Never see anything. Never. In a magazine, in a museum,
Yeah.
when people go, stare at this, and you'll see the mountains with George Washington. I'm like, yeah, never.
No.
I never. My brain doesn't.
Honestly, I feel that way with these scans sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't see anything.
And you just go, oh, yeah.
I don't.
You go, I can't.
I lean right in, I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't see that. But with this, she had to explain it. And then when she was like, that's the nose.
When you can focus on it.
Then I'm like, oh, okay, I could see it. But it was cute. But she was trying. The girl tried it a few times to get us a good one, and it didn't work. But that was okay. But I do remember. Do you remember the 3D pictures? They used to be in the comic pages.
Okay.
There was a thing for some people. I don't know if people did they
3D back then.
It was a thing. It must have been it had to be in the 80s.
Okay.
in the
I didn't start reading until like 2010.
In the funny papers, in the comics that would come in the Sunday paper, on the back page would be a thing that just looked like a scrambled bunch of,
and you're supposed to see.
And you're
something.
supposed to like hold
That's
it.
That's what I'm talking about. People would always go, "Don't you see the Statue of Liberty?" And I'm like, "No,
never.
Me either.
Yeah, I could never do it.
My wife
to this day
sees it.
Try. Yeah.
Me too. Nope. I can't.
No, I don't have any idea how that works.
At least I feel better now.
This is why we're so simpatico. Because we can't see.
We're blind.
So we do the scan. Everything's good. Then we go to we go when we're waiting. So it's like a 2:30 appointment for the scan. 3:30 to talk to the doctor.
Okay.
So
that's when you wait.
We go out. Now the fun part is the other fun part from the scan was they give all the estimated stuff. So at this point they're estimating she is 4 pounds 8 ounces, so 4.5 pounds.
Wow.
So we're, and everything measured good. Everything's right on track like it should be. So that was nice. But, the texts don't tell you anything.
Sure.
They just like to click.
Oh, yeah. That's not their
thing. So we go out, we're sitting. And, we're hanging out in the waiting room. And 3:30 comes. And, nothing. And three. So we were done with the scan by about 3. 3:30. Nobody comes gets us. 3:45, 4 o'clock.
They cancel your flight. No, this sounds very familiar.
4:10. Now 10 after 4. Again, old Frank. What would you expect?
Oh,
just
chaos.
Like kicking the
chaos,
kicking the door open and be like, "Hey,
what kind of establishment are we running around here?"
I had an appointment 40 minutes.
Right.
No. New Frank is there's something wrong with the scan and they don't want to tell us.
I wasn't even thinking that. Your brain's going right there.
I go into fear mode, into scared mode. And of course, I'm not sharing that with Kelly. And of course, it takes till like 4:25. We finally get called in and they're just behind.
Of course.
And they're like, everything's good, going over everything. But yeah, it's like, that is my instinct now.
Before you even said that, I was going to say, are you over the next shoe dropping scenario of what's going to happen? And then after I thought that, you said, I'm thinking something's wrong. I'm like, nope, I guess that answered that question.
Yeah,
You're still there.
I'm still.
I guess you're out.
I think I'm handling it a little bit better. I'm not.
The longer it
I'm
goes,
not saying rosaries in my head, but I am thinking, and now it's more of a conversation. Before it was just terror, those thoughts. Now there's got to be something wrong. Don't be silly. They're just behind.
Now you can calm yourself down.
I'm self-soothing.
You're self-soothing.
But
with a scotch in your hand.
I wish they should have an open bar.
Absolutely.
In there.
Just because you're pregnant doesn't mean I can't drink.
That was another one though where I thought this kid. There's always couples coming in and out, and sometimes I feel bad because it'll be just like a girl on her own.
Single. Yeah.
And I think that's got to be hard to go through all this stuff on their own.
Yeah.
But there was a young couple, and I'm thinking this kid is just a better dressed version of dad number one from the videos.
Wow.
I'm thinking again, nice tracksuit, but no future.
Oh God.
I know I shouldn't judge this way.
I know.
But I can't help it. That's all I'm thinking about is this is somebody's father.
I feel sorry.
I'm worried and I have all of these advantages. Yeah. Right? I
just feel sorry for Josie bringing anyone home. Oh. I know this is a while. That's
down the road.
That's down the road, but
yeah.
Oof. Daddy's gonna be.
Yeah. You know what? I learned.
Maybe you'll be better though. You'll be 100, right?
I'll be 100. Yep.
We'll be doing this. I'm Frank. There. I'm 97 years old.
The guy drooling in the corner. That's my dad. Go shake his hand. It means a lot to him. Honestly, I think there's interesting things. I want to be a good dad, and I'm constantly reading things, different perspectives on fatherhood and what it takes. But I want to boil it down to a philosophy. I want to boil it down to a few things that I need to focus on, and I think I've come across a couple 3 things that I think are how I'm going to approach it.
Okay.
There's 3, and there's a few because with all the reading, there's things that pop out to me that are important. The number one thing that has popped out to me, especially being the parent of a daughter.
Yeah, I can't help you with that.
The number one thing is that the most important part of you being a good father for a daughter is how you treat your wife.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
That you show, that you model for her how a man should treat her by how you treat your wife.
Without a doubt.
So, and I want to, that is one core thing. I want to do that. The other thing that I think is important, and we've talked about faith. I was reading, and they've done these studies. If a mother is the driving force behind the faith of a family, right? Let's say
if the mother is.
Yeah. So let's say Trina.
She's the heavy one about.
Trina's the one who's making it happen, and you're staying home and watching football.
Gotcha.
The kids have about an 18 to 20% chance of carrying that faith forward through their life.
Ooh.
If it is the father, it is 85 plus percent. 85%. So I think that's another core thing for me, that I want to make sure she has a strong faith. That has to be a thing that I carry forward. The thing that will be harder, I think, that I need to work on in some ways is reading about one thing that it terrifies me about having a little girl, the whole idea of child predators, people who abuse children, things like that.
Yeah.
The number one consistent thing that when they talk to these people when they've been caught about how they select their victims is they say, if the father is not a threat, those are the ones I go after.
Oh.
And the best way, literally the best way that you can keep that from ever happening is being a murderous badass. Basically, like being a threat, being somebody who a guy like that is going to look at and go, I don't want to mess with him. Because
most of the time it's happening to people that know the family.
That's what it is. So they know, like they're
that's not one to.
I
will be underground.
That guy will murder me.
I will be underground. Right?
Yep, that guy will murder me. I'm not going anywhere near that kid. Idiot in the corner playing a video game. Well, maybe his kid. Like at my age, I don't want a guy like that to look at my daughter and think, he's a pushover. So
it's fun, not funny. It's weird that you say that because it's 23 years ago or 18 years ago. Yeah. Things have changed. It's gotten worse, unfortunately, with social media and how people are grabbed before they're even grabbed. Yeah. So I didn't really have to deal with that. But having a daughter is another element that I never even had to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you're worried about your boys, and
sure,
especially
you got to worry about them.
Because that happens a lot too, unfortunately. But a whole different ballgame when you're talking about your daughter.
Yep.
And it's really interesting to know that, of course, they're going to pick weak people, right?
That's what it is, man.
On the child and the parent.
Yep.
Right?
A vulnerable child and a parent that isn't a threat. So those are my three big rocks. Is faith. Very important for faith.
So the thing you have to figure out is, how do I become that threatening father, but not scary to my own family?
Yeah, that's easy enough. Right. I think.
That's the part
Yeah, that's it. I think step one, I'm going to buy a pickup. I need it to plow the driveway anyway. Of
course.
I'm going to get rid of my Jeep that I plow with. I'm going to get a pickup to plow with. Gun rack.
Of course.
Shotgun. Landmines.
The funny thing is, when you were going through your setup and you're preparing, I'm horrible. And I'll tell you why. I read not one book, not one. Didn't even open one. Don't even know what one is called.
Yep.
I heard of what to expect when you're expecting. Heard of it.
Yep.
My wife reads. Sure. She had all the books in the world.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there going, did I do it wrong? I not picked up one book or manual or anything.
As my wife often says while we edit, Carlo is very emotionally intelligent.
Okay.
She says that. And you are. And then she quickly, because I immediately think, what am I, fucking chocolate? I'm immediately.
The kid can't open up a book and read it, but he's emotionally a genius.
But she's always like, and she says it, and I think it is true. And I didn't really think of it that way. Well, the way I would express that is Carlo has a good heart, right? Like that's it. But she looks at it, she sees it, and it's true. And I think that's why we complement each other well, because I'm more in my head, and this is a puzzle, and I have to think about it. And you approach it from a very heart an emotional standpoint, which is something that is a good compliment to my thoughts.
And I'm not saying you do this, you haven't been a parent yet. So I always think of when I'm doing something, it's more common sense. Like, the baby needs love. The baby needs clean clothes. The baby needs this. And then when they get older, you have to be fair. And do I screw up? Have I screwed up? Of course.
Sure.
Where Trina looks at me and goes, "Oh my God, why are you always screaming? Why they think you're mad?"
Right.
So you have to kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I do bring that out there.
But that's why you and Trina work so well together too. She compliments you.
But it's so funny how when you go, I read these things and I'm sitting there going, I didn't pick up a pamphlet. Well, I didn't. There wasn't a.
I think that's that's what it is for me. I need to think like, okay, these are the 3 big things that I'm going to focus on, and then once I have that picture in my head, then that's how then it is common sense.
Then
for
you
me.
go there.
Then it's like, okay, I can do it. But yeah, it is a lot to think about,
and it's for you scarier too, because a lot of times when you think of parenting a young child, you think of yourself as being younger yourself,
sure,
energy. I can do this. And then now it's like, we're thinking more. And I'll speak for myself. I'm thinking more of retirement than starting my career.
Sure,
in this part of life where now you have to be like, I still have to be that in my mind, that strong young father that has to still provide and build this, child.
I'm leaning more toward. I'm not going to be the Vin Diesel dad. Right? I'm going to be the Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino. The guy, like the grizzled.
He's scarier.
He is scarier.
He's scarier.
Right? Nobody's going to mess with that. So I need to get there. Stone faced, grumpy.
No, it's.
But yeah, it's a lot to think about.
It's funny when you go through the pregnancy, the 9 months, and then how fast the first year birthday comes up. It seemed 9 months. I mean, I know it kind of sped up for us because we're doing a podcast and we're always talking about it. We're always measuring and this and that and the other thing. But it's so weird. Like you wait these, like for me, it felt forever. And then it felt like this in a second. So we were doing a birthday party for, you're a year old. And I'm like, oh my God, it does speed up. It just, it's crazy how that happens. Even at my age, and I was younger than 55.
Sure.
My worry was, I'm almost a 40-year-old dad with my second child.
Yeah.
I remember, coming home and the baby's crying and I had to, be up with it and all that, which is great. And you do it. And you kind of think like, oh my God, I get it. I get why having children younger.
It's a young man's game.
It's a young man's game, right? Yep. It's like retail. You don't care. Yeah, I'll work 13 hours. So even at 40, I was like, thinking, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait when they're old enough where I don't have to do this. But then the time you think, I don't want to wish these away either. Yeah. These moments, So it's weird how fast it goes.
That is one of the things that I do think about that with one of the things they say, why time seems to pass so quickly as you get older is because of the way it is our perception that you're doing, it's because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again.
So the routine.
It is nothing. When you're a kid, a summer feels like forever.
And everybody says that, right? Because a summer felt like, I'll see you next year. Yeah. And it was a full year.
Because everything at that stage in your life is new. So in my hope is that this stuff, as much as it goes by quickly, and that's what everybody says, it goes by in the blink of an eye. My hope is that because I'm going to experience all this stuff that will be all new for me, and then
it'll seem forever
for her, that maybe it'll slow down. It'll slow down a little bit.
It will
for me while it's happening, because it does. I think we talked about. I might have even said it. There was this quote some actor said that the only thing bad about getting old is having breakfast every 15 minutes. Because that's what it feels like, right? As you get older, it's like, bam, here another week goes by, another month goes by.
Well, that was funny because Trina just 2 days ago, I think she's like, same old thing, because she goes, I'm going to bed, and it's like, and you get in this rut, like, oh my God, we just get up, go to work, Of course, time feels like you're just flying
because you're doing the same thing over and over again.
But it is funny. I know everybody mentions it, like, oh my God, do you remember when we were kids? Summers felt like they were 7 months long, and then when you realize.
It was 8 weeks.
Do you remember when when you finally realized, wait a minute, summer vacation is like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I remember when I finally was old enough to go, oh.
It was
because I felt it was like a half a year I was old.
Yeah. It felt like, there was school and there was summer and they were both about the same.
Right. And then when you realize, like, we'll see you guys in 8 weeks. We're like, wait, 8 weeks.
The thing for me that I think about as a kid is also how small at that time, I think it's different for kids now, but how small your world was.
Oh, yeah.
That I remember looking, again, pre-internet, pre-cell phone.
Yeah.
I remember there was one comic book store called Dream Days Comics.
Dream Days, okay.
It was, I think, somewhere on South Salina Street.
Oh, okay.
Not far. Now, from my house, that's, I don't know, maybe 5 miles.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
I thought of that place
like
it was Disneyland.
Yeah, you were traveling.
I don't know. I never made it there. Right? Like I never got to the drill. Like,
that's hilarious.
I never got. It was so far away.
It was a dream.
It was like, my God, if I could only get somebody to take me.
That's great.
But your life only extends to the end of the block that you've.
That's funny because did you have family, aunt or grandparents that you drove to when you were younger? Did you have that? Anybody?
Like me, I didn't steal a car.
Your family. Like we're going to Nona. We're going to Grandpa's house. We're going to. You had that.
Yeah.
So we had my mom's sister.
Right.
So we grew up in Mannydale, North Side.
Yeah.
Frank and I, we're not that far. Mannydale, and where I grew up, a block or two away from each other.
Yeah.
Is Mannydale.
A couple miles. Yeah.
Right. It's a couple miles. And then where my aunt lives is a town called, or a village of Liverpool.
Yeah.
Not far.
That felt like going to the country, probably.
Bro.
Yeah.
I remember going there.
Yeah.
As a kid, I could nap in the car. Like I was going on a trip to Florida.
Yep.
Have a good sleep. Have a good nap. And then still open my eyes and go, are we not there yet? Still? We're not there?
Yep.
If it's what, a 3-mile drive?
Yep.
If that?
It's nothing. Yeah.
It's so, like you said, it's so crazy when your mind doesn't have, when every day you're learning and you're not filled with all this information we have.
Yep. Yep. That when everything's new, it's
because
different.
our planet was like a block.
Yeah.
Right? It was
our
that
world
block.
was so
it was
small.
Our road. That was our world.
Yep.
The grammar school that we walked to or whatever. That was your world right there. And everything else was miles and miles and planets away.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how that happens.
And it changes.
And you want that, right? You wish you always, that brain of a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, of everything's new and there's so much. I don't know. Sometimes, like right now, we have so much shit up there, man.
Yeah, it's so nice. The odd occasions when you are really just pleasantly surprised by something that you didn't expect.
Yeah,
that happens.
Right.
That happens all the time when you're a kid. That doesn't happen very much as an adult. But yeah, it's nice. And I'm hoping there'll be lots of that.
And the great thing that I don't think we. I know we don't as you get older, that whole imagination part of your brain, the fake part, like I'm gonna be a rocket, I'm gonna go to the moon. Even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It goes away because in reality.
Yeah.
And
not
there's
for
something
me.
about that.
I still believe I'm gonna be an astronaut.
Yeah. But there has to be something about that.
Yeah.
That part of your brain that still doesn't understand that will never happen or that can't happen.
I do.
The imaginary part of it.
That's another thing that they talk about a lot in the stuff, this gentle parenting stuff, and also just development. A lot of stuff that I read about developmental things about kids. Some of the stuff I read, and I just think, no, it's just not. This is not. It would be nice if it was true,
right?
But they talk about all children are geniuses. And it is the education system that forces them to think in a certain way.
Okay.
There was a kid when I was growing up. His name was, what was his name? Rob Sutton. I don't know where Rob is.
He's probably not around.
I'm sure you don't.
If he's in this conversation, he probably didn't make it.
Rob Sutton found a way to break a limb every summer of our childhood.
Okay.
And I refuse to believe
he's a genius.
That kid was never a genius.
I never broke a thing. And I can't even call myself a genius. And I didn't break anything.
I believe all kids are probably more creative. I think kids do lose creativity, and I think they I think boys in particular now, the energy level that a boy naturally has is frowned upon,
taken away
now, and kind of controlled in a way that isn't good. But no, everybody's not a genius.
Not all. I remember me and my buddy literally thinking we were going to start digging, and we were going to have like a underground.
Yep, same thing.
Warehouse, like
a lair, the bat cave.
Yeah. And it made sense though.
Yeah.
To us, it's like we can do this.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if people walk on top of it. We're going to be so in that we're going to be protected, and we literally started it.
One of my friend's dad told us a story that when he was a kid, they wanted to build an airplane, and they dragged railroad ties. They made an airplane shaped thing out of railroad ties, dragged it up on top of a garage, and pushed it off.
Oh, God.
One of the kids almost got killed.
Oh my God!
But that's what you think. You don't
genius.
That is the kind of creativity.
That was a genius.
Those are genius
No,
children.
but I guess
you don't know.
I guess I never let go of that imagination thing.
Yeah, because
I think that's what I kind of keeps me. I don't know, young, but it's like my job. I play house. I have to. I'm imagining things all the time, and I think a lot of, like I said, I don't imagine my father doing what I do.
Right.
I don't see that. So there has to be differences. There has some, what we hold on to, because I love that feeling when I was young, and I could be anything I wanted. I could imagine anything I wanted.
Yeah.
And there had to be something that I didn't let go of.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm doing what I do, I guess. I don't know.
Being creative, I think that's one of the things that does. It does.
Because not everybody does that.
No, not everybody does. And I do wonder about that. I think some people, it comes out in different
forms,
in different ways.
Yeah.
And I think there are some people too who do it, and then at some point it turns more to reminiscing about the old days.
Gotcha.
Right? But yeah, that's part of the fun. And it does. I think it does keeps you young and energized, and it's engaging, because again, back to the new experience things. When you create something like that, when you come up with some new idea, it's new. It's the first time. And that slows things down for you for a little bit. Well, there you go. We covered all kinds of interesting thorny subjects, but that is we're kind of coming to the close of what just happened, and our last stop.
Yep.
On this episode, we are on our way to Lullaby Land.
It's back.
We haven't done Lullaby Land in a while.
We have not.
So our choice for this time is going to be Stay Awake from Mary Poppins. This is from the 1964 film from Disney, Mary Poppins, performed by Julie Andrews.
Of course.
And it was written by, I didn't know this, but I did a little research, written by Richard and Robert Sherman.
Love those guys.
You do. You just don't, you might not know it. They have more motion picture song scores than any other team in history.
I think I do know that.
They wrote almost all of the Disney movies from our youth.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Chitty
They
Bang
wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
That's why I know.
They wrote all Jungle Book, all those songs, all that stuff, and their biggest hit. Do you know what? If you get this, I'll be super impressed.
Their biggest hit was?
The biggest hit. Everyone has heard this song.
Was it just one song, or they did the whole movie?
Well, no, they did multiple movies, but this particular song I'm talking about is their most, I think, well-known song.
Was it with The Sound of Music?
No. It is a Disney. It is associated with Disney.
Oh, I don't know. Fantasia.
No.
What is it? Is Fantasia? After all,
it's a small world.
It's a small world.
They wrote It's a Small World after all. So yeah. So that's but our lullaby this time.
That's talent. When you could write not that song.
Oh, they wrote
all of them.
It's crazy. So many songs and all kinds of stuff.
If you go, I wrote a hit.
Yeah.
No, I wrote all the hits.
Yeah.
Every Disney hit.
And also because it's like a brother team. Right? Like you and Pete. You're gonna sit down and crank out the score for 17 movies. Like what do we do now? What do we do now?
Me and Mike.
Yeah. That would be great. No, so that's
that's the lullaby.
Up next will be "Stay Awake" from the 1964 film Mary Poppins, sung by yours truly.
It's going to be great, and you guys are going to enjoy it. But the thing that you just brought back, that you please, and I know you will. The beautiful thing about getting to watch these movies with your kids, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and The Wizard of Oz, and
Mary Poppins, all that stuff.
We watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang on loop, bro.
Yeah.
It was. It
there's
brought me back so many.
The one guy in that movie, the kid would take the children. Oh. I was terrified. I was the most scared as a kid of that guy. The witch from The Wizard of Oz scared the crap out of me. And what was the other one that really used to scare me? Those two.
The Nazis on Sound.
I don't know if I ever saw Sound of Music as a kid. Yeah. No, watching all that stuff. Well, it is fun to think about getting to experience those things.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Of course, Lord of the Rings. When I get to orc, your mommy.
That's right.
Your mommy called you an orc. But anyway, so that's where we are. So hopefully you will enjoy our trip to Lullaby Land with Stay Awake. Mm-hmm. And otherwise, we will see you soon.
Stay awake, don't rest your head, don't lie down upon your bed while the moon drifts in the sky. Stay awake, don't close your eyes. Though the world is fast asleep, though your pillow's soft and deep, you're not sleepy as you seem. Stay awake, don't nod and dream. Stay awake, don't nod and dream.
Well, folks, that's another episode of the Gray Hair and Daycare podcast in the books. Thanks very much for tuning in and spending this time with us. We hope it was fun. If you enjoyed this week's descent into the madness of dadness, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of our future adventures. And while you're at it, give us a like and share the cast with your friends on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Carrier Pigeon, whatever you crazy kids are using. Have any hilarious parenting stories of your own? Questions about navigating fatherhood later in life, or even when normal people do it? Email us at ghdc.podcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to bed.